Hey, Courtney, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, awesome. I think Bree's words just now were that the team could have let frustration from last night swallow them, but instead they kind of let it fuel them. What did you just think of that ability to come out with such a strong spot there in the first inning?
Well, it was huge. It was an emotional game last night. It was a frustrating game and a late game. So you went to turn all of that in. It's like I walked in when she was talking about just not getting a lot of sleep. I know I didn't sleep much last night with the quick turnaround and just the feel of the game last night. And so for them to show up ready to go, ready to make a statement, ready to respond, it was huge. It was so fun. We should do it all the time.
I was about to say, you've talked about promotions and kind of your superstitions with them. I guess bark in the park is typically a hit.
According to G, it is, right? Yeah, we do pretty well on Bark in the Park Day. And I think the most productive hitter of Bark in the Park Day is Rylan Hedgecock.
Yes.
Who had 2 big RBIs for us.
It took on Friday. It took till the 9th inning to score on Beaver. The 7 runs charged against her in the first inning were her most ever, or tied her most in college. Just what do you think of the team's ability to, maybe use what they saw Friday and really, really attack her?
Yeah, I was using the information from Friday. It was, just like Bree said, it's just that frustration fueling them instead of dragging them down and just being relentless. It looked different. It was 7 runs, but it was a combination of, a dribbler that we beat out, home run, walks, wild pitches, a sun ball, like a ball that was just well placed. That's a lot of times doesn't fall for us. And so it was just an inning of some breaks, an inning of relentlessness, an inning of just passing the bat no matter what. We really, really prepped to just not stretch the zone. And I thought they did a tremendous job of just keeping their zone, attacking when it was there, and just passing the bat. It was great. It's probably maybe the best job of passing the bat that we've done all season.
Last thing I'll ask you is Morgan to have 2 different shutout wins this weekend. I mean, that's hard to do regardless of opponent, but she just did it against the number 15 team. Just what do you think of her ability to kind of, to flush so quickly and come out and put up a performance like that?
Well, that's who she is. And that's what she's consistently done for us. But I know that last night she wasn't pleased with how everything went with, her with all of it, and to just leave it where it was and show up today and just trust her stuff and get right back to what makes her so good against a team that's seen her a lot and still being able to trust her stuff so well, trust her defense really well. It was huge. It was huge. She's a fighter. She's a fighter in every sense of the word. And so for her to just make that, set the tone in the first inning, make the statement throughout the game, our defense have her back, her trust in them, their trust in her. It's just really special. It's fun to get to observe and watch her do her thing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob?
Hey, Coach, similar to what I asked Bree, you talked last night about, it's one thing, I guess, for the staff to say, our energy isn't in the right place. We didn't do enough tonight. But how impressed were you and how happy does it make you as a coach to see kind of the player-led, the frustration there as well, and them turning what was a rough night into a positive today?
Yeah, it's great to hear that, that because that's going to make more of a statement. That's going to make more of an impact is when it comes from them. And it's one thing for us to say it and for us to feel it. But when they lead that charge from the locker room, that's when it really makes the big impact. And so it was huge. This team has a lot of character. They have learned the ability to respond. And, having a game like yesterday, the way it went, the outcome wasn't great, the feel wasn't great, and to show up today and respond in the way that they did, they just continue to grow, continue to show their character, and continue to make us really proud.
And then speaking of response, I know Ethan asked you yesterday about kind of the rubber match trend, right? And all of these series wins, 4 in a row, you guys have gotten it done. In rubber matches, what does it say about the team's ability to respond? 1-1 and just kind of put everything outside of the window now, and 4 straight series in the rubber match come through in a big way.
Well, it's huge. It's a matchup of toughness. It's a matchup of response. It's a matchup of, for us, the situation we've been in winning the series the last 4 times, it's coming off the loss on Saturday and having to respond and grab the momentum back. In theory, it would maybe be easier the other way. And it's just continues to show their toughness and their grit and their character. It's a game of sport of series, and when you win those series and you find a way to win 2 of the 3, it's huge. And so I'm just really proud of them.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Eric.
Coach, obviously with the short turnaround, take me through the decision process. You going with Morgan there back after yesterday, and obviously pitching Friday. You mentioned they've seen her a lot, yet you go back to her and she wasn't. It didn't seem like it bothered her that much.
No, it was well, Sundays, the rubber match is an all hands on deck day. So everyone has their role. You're trying to figure out what the right combo is, especially on day 3 when you're coming off 2 lengthy games, an extra inning game. Just they I think went through 4 times yesterday, and so you're just kind of figuring out what's the best combination. Who do we want? What's the better combination? And today we wanted to start Mo. We had Robin ready. We had the rest of the crew ready and had a lot of confidence in them. But Mo was excellent today. And so, I think that she knows we trust her. She knows that they all know we trust them, but she knows we trust her. And then when she went in last night, she just wasn't her. And I think that's the big thing is we don't harp on that. We just say, hey, you're a great pitcher. Didn't have a great couple of batters. We're just going to leave it there, and you're going to be better tomorrow. And she was. And so it was huge. We were ready to go with everyone. Robin was ready next. They make a great complement. They make a great duo. So we were ready for whatever we needed to do.
How were you able, as your team, to put last night behind you? It's a late night game. Obviously, there were some things you weren't happy on the field performance-wise. There were some things beyond your control that obviously was frustrating. Let's just leave it as that. Yet you're able to put that behind you in such a quick deal. Speak of that mental toughness to be able to put that behind you and come out ready to go on a quick turnaround.
Well, it's a big sign of toughness and character because there's a lot of emotion around it. It's not just a loss. It's a loss with high emotion, high frustration, very late, all of those things. And that's what this game is. It's a game of mindset. It's a game of how are we going to reset our mindset? How are we going to respond? How are we going to show up when things aren't going how we want them to? And sometimes it's having to, switch your mindset from pitch to pitch. Sometimes it's game to game in a doubleheader, and sometimes it's game to game in a series. And so, it is in softball, you have a lot of practice in that. Now, this one had a lot more emotion to it. But for them to just, start the day new and just kind of want to control what we can control. And I keep saying it, I'm just really proud of their response from last night to today.
What have you learned about Bree now coaching her this year that you didn't know, obviously going up against her? I mean, she comes up big today, always seems to come up big in big moments.
Well, she's clutch and she loves the big moment. And well, she's really stinking good. We already knew that. She's really stinking good. She's a really great hitter. She has a ton of confidence. She also has a huge heart. And she loves her teammates. And that's the thing that you don't necessarily see in her like hard exterior or this competitive person that she is in game. Is it's so beyond the field for who Brie Ellis is and what she brings to our team. It's so beyond what she does on the field. That's huge. She's really good. She makes everyone around her more confident, but she's such a great addition off the field, and she just has a huge heart. And it's been such a short time, but I just can't imagine her not being a Razorback. I'm just really glad she's here.
we've talked about Beaver, obviously, in the history you've had with her. Was there a sense of relief from the, that, hey, you got to her early and that confidence built there against her? Such a great pitcher, obviously, and that coming out early against her.
Yeah, I think there could be a level of like the buildup of the success she's had against us. I think it's also just she doesn't have many innings like that. She doesn't have many outings like that. And I think that the nice thing is through our prep, it's like, okay, if like when we get to her, this is what it's going to look like. This is what we have to do. This is what teams do, when they aren't successful. This is what they do when they are successful. And so to see them just show up, obviously take the information they got from Friday, having the frustration from yesterday and turning that around, just wanting to show up, wanting to make a statement, trusting the plan, trusting the prep, and executing that. And it looked a lot of ways. I know I said this earlier, but it wasn't just like we were teeing off. It was a dribbler that we beat out. It was the home run. It was the flare hit. It was the walks. It was not stretching our zones, just doing whatever it took to pass the bat. It was just so huge. She is a very, very talented pitcher and competitor. And we knew that it was going to take a relentless approach to get to her. And it just, they stuck to the plan and executed it so well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Coach Deifel.
Thank you. Got to get to an 8U championship.